Hi guys, this is Mrs. Sayer, and I'm going to give you some instructions today for getting some more information about your event that you're going to be participating in for the debate. And we're also going to be creating a note in Google Keep for you to help you practice for your presentation. So first, we need to get into this all school debate tournament folder. So in my class, it's in your material section in the Unit 5 folder. It's a folder on its own there down at the bottom. In Mrs. Elder's class, I think she has it as the very top thing listed in her material section. So hers might be a little bit easier to find than mine. But regardless, you need to get into this folder. Okay. So once you find it, you need to go ahead and click on it to open it. And you'll see a bunch of folders within there. Most of this stuff we are not going to necessarily utilize, but there is one folder that we are going to dig into today because it's really, really important that you know the contents of that folder so you're prepared for your event. So down here at the bottom, this face-off events and event preparation folder, you're going to go ahead and open that. And then you'll see a list of all of the different events. And you guys should know by now what event you're participating in. And so there is a folder for each event. So you can see right here on, before you even dig into the folder or open it up, it has the description of your event and then the topic. So it tells you the resolution if you're in individual or team. For extemporaneous, it tells you which questions you need to prepare for down here. So here's your description, here's your questions. For opposing pairs, here is the description of your event, and here are the three topics that you are picking from. For oratory, your description, again, the consequences of science is your topic. And then poi, here's your description, and then again, a little bit about your topic. So each event has one of those, but what we're going to do today is you are going to dig into your folder in a little bit more detail. So let's say I'm doing individual debate. I'm going to go ahead and open that folder, and there's a lot of stuff in here. We have already gone over each of the different events a couple of different times. So you should be familiar with your event, but if you're not and you want a refresher, there is a video that you can watch. The time requirements are also in here, so you need to take time to read through those and know how much time you have for your event so that as you're preparing, you're not going over time and you're not going to be under time, okay? The content of the event, again, this just goes into a little bit more description than the home page of your event. Tells you my resolution here, the pro side, the con side, etc. Okay, so it explains it a little bit more in more detail. Here's the rules of the event. I encourage you to take some time and read through these so that you know what the rules of your event are. So that's going to be part of your instructions for today, is doing that. There's a section on judging, which Mrs. Elder has gone through and shown you how to do that in her class. But you need to pay attention to this because you are responsible for judging when you're not presenting. So one of the highlights down here that you need to pay attention to is making sure you don't erase your markings until somebody's recorded that information. So pay attention to that. All right, so here is the big idea for today. This preparation for performance is going to be really, really important. And this is what we're going to use to create our first little note today in Google Keep. Okay, I'm going to encourage you guys to use this. I know I made a plug for it the other day when we were in the media center, but I really feel like this is such a good resource for you to have to help you organize yourself. So I'm going to go into my Google Keep here so you'll see a little bit about mine. And if you don't know where yours is, it's keep.google.com if you haven't bookmarked it. And I would encourage you to go ahead and bookmark it. There's also an extension that you can add to Chrome to put it up here on your little toolbar so that you don't have to actually bookmark it, which might be a good idea. I think I'm going to do that here in a little bit. So what we're going to do today, so you can see some of my notes down here. I have my little, I told you guys I share my grocery store list with my husband so he can get in there. So you can see he's added, well, you guys probably can't see. Here you go. He's added down here at the bottom. So anytime I need to add something for him to pick up at the grocery store, I add it, and then he'll go through and get it for me, which is awesome. So today what you guys are going to do, we're going to go up here where it says take a note, and you guys won't have any of this stuff on yours. So it'll probably just have this white box that says take a note. So you're going to go ahead and we're going to create a new list. So you're going to click on new list, and you'll see that list item pops up, and you don't have to worry about anything in there just yet. And you'll notice it's saving over here, so I don't even have to worry about saving any stuff because it's Google, which is awesome. So we're going to go back into our event folder here, and we are going to copy all of the information here that is in our preparation checklist. Okay, so I'm just going to highlight it. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it in here. And then I have this awesome little checklist that has just been created for me that as I am now completing this stuff through the rest of this week, as I'm going through and preparing for my event, I can cross things off of my list when I get to them. So I'm going to title this event or this note, and I want you to do the same thing, preparation for performance. Okay, so that is your preparation for performance checklist. And as you start completing these things and you get them finished, you can put a little check in the box, and you'll notice that it goes down to the bottom of the folder to show you that you have completed it. Now, the cool thing about this that I also love, I can uncheck this and it's going to add it right back to the top of my list. Okay, so it doesn't take the stuff away. It just shows me, hey, you've already got that stuff done. Okay, now I can go down here and I can add a collaborator. So if you're working in a group with someone, you might want to just have one person create the Google Keep, or you can do it and just add, you guys can both do it and just add each other to your list so you can see what each other is working on. That's probably how I would do it. So if you want to add a collaborator, you just click on that and then you type in the person that you want to share it with and it'll add them to it. Okay. Here's where you can change the color. So I don't have anything in this color yet, so I'm going to go ahead and color it that way because I like all of my stuff color coded. So you can add images if you want to. Here's a little back arrow, so if you want to undo something, you can do that. You can set reminders for yourself if you want to do that as well. So if you have a certain thing that you need to get done on this particular note, you can have it remind you when you get home. Like let's say there's 3 things that you need to work on and you want to be reminded at 4 o'clock. And so you can set the reminder for 4 and then it will take care of that for you, which I think is really cool. So I want you to have that done. This is going to be a grade for reading. And if you're in Bridges, then it'll be an ELA grade. So we're going to expect you to use this as your checklist. Another thing that I would encourage you to do is maybe starting to create some more notes in here and really utilize this as your platform for keeping yourself organized and for storing all of your stuff. So if I want to have a pro, these are going to be my pro sources, then I can go ahead and have a space for my pro sources. I'm going to color code those and see that's done. Now I'm going to add one for my con, my title sources, and then I can add, a different color for that. And so as I'm finding things, I can go ahead and add. Remember, I can add my collaborators, I can change my color, I can remind myself, etc. So I just really think that this is a good source for you to use. I am going to require you to do the checklist so that you can keep yourself accountable of all of the things that you need to get done. I might even add in here where it says that you have note cards. I would make sure that I have looked back in my event to see how many note cards I can have, because some of them have a particular amount of things that you can have. And so you might want to make sure that you check that. Okay. So we wanted to highlight the information in these folders for you. We also wanted to give you a checklist for keeping yourself accountable. Here's the information that Ms. Rabasco went over with you on Thursday in the library. So if you need to refresh on how to get into the databases, or you need the school use library card number and the PIN, it's all in there. If you're doing individual and team debate, there's a section on flowing a debate that at some point you might want to add a note to yourself to go back and watch that so that you can learn how to do that, because we didn't really get a lot of practice with that. You guys just kind of took some notes. So this gives you a better strategy for utilizing that. And then here's some tips for practicing. So spend some time today. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to show you is here's some resources. So these are some websites, some articles, things like that that have already been pulled for you that you might want to take a look at and see if it fits the topic idea that you have as far as the consequences of science go. So there already are some resources in here for you. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully you kind of can look through all this information and get a better overview of what you're doing. Again, your big idea for right now is to get your Google Keep note done. your preparation for performance note so that you have a checklist of all the things that you need to get done. And again, I would encourage you to use other features in here too to help keep yourself organized. Okay, so please ask one of us if you need any help. I will come around at the end of the first time that you have class and give you a grade for this part of your checklist. So make sure that you have that done. All right, thanks.